Okay. What happens in the brain when trauma is combined with emotional repression?
It's not emotional repression. I think you're talking about the serial killer.
Yes.
Okay, so it's psychopathy. And actually, that's something that I have in all of my books. The recent book, The Rhythm of Youth, I'm talking about psychopathy and how that affects the entire behavior and life of the individual. On the narcissism book, I also talk about psychopathy, and also in the brainwashed book. And what it is that from Clankley, who wrote The Mask of Sanity, he postulated that these people are really schizophrenics. They have schizophrenia. And because they have schizophrenia, they seal over the schizophrenia that becomes psychopathy. So psychopathy is like a callus over their soul, over their existence. And it's hard. So they don't feel. They don't, the only time they feel is either if they kill themselves or if they kill someone else. So when they kill someone else, that's the only time they feel. All the other times are completely numb. And it's it's like they feel like they're dead, like they're not alive. They're like in a coffin and they cannot breathe. And the only time they feel that they're breathing is when they kill somebody. That blood, that pain of the other person makes them feel alive again. So that's why it's so devastating. And so it's random, really. They don't know the people they kill. They just, like Ted Bundy, that was a very famous serial killer. He didn't know the people that he was killing. He was very sweet and nice otherwise. Everybody said he couldn't kill a fly. Well, he was killing human beings with a very cold heart. And that's psychopathy.
Is it possible to unfreeze emotional circuits that have been stuck for decades?
It's actually a genetic problem. So it's not something that you can do, and they don't allow you to do it. Because if you take that freeze, as you call it, away, they will have a breakdown. They will get completely disorganized, they will be chaotic, they will be psychotic. And that's the last thing they would allow you to do. So, no. For two reasons. First of all, it's genetic, so it's not easy to kind of change a genetic disorder. But secondly, is because they won't let you do it.
How does Rhythm of Youth help people review trauma and reactivate vitality?
Okay, so in the Rhythm of Youth and the Brainwashed and the Narcissism book, how narcissism invented Trump, has a lot of bit of politics in it, but also has the psychopathology of 7 levels of functioning and how you can elevate a patient from a low level to a higher level of functioning through creativity. So through creative expression, they can sort of unlock themselves from this lock state of mind and psychology, psychodynamics. But it's very difficult with psychopathy because, like I said, as soon as they leave that state of callousness, they break down. And once they break down, it's like a glass that breaks, and it's very hard to put it back together. It will never be the glass that was previously. So psychopathy is a defense. Like narcissism is a defense. It's like an armor. But the problem with psychopaths is that's all there is. It's just an armor. And there's nothing inside. It's like an empty shell.
Do you think understanding criminals like Ed Gein can help us understand ourselves?
No. You cannot understand yourself through that. There is kind of a great distance between somebody who's functioning, even at the narcissistic level, even at the average normalcy level, that they're too far gone. they're too far gone. You cannot really understand it. And I worked in jail for a long time, and I met a lot of criminals. And their first intention is how they can fool you, how they can get away with it. That's all that matters. They don't want to be rehabilitated. They don't want to use any talent they may have. They just want to fool you and get away with it. And that's the problem, because they don't respond to psychotherapy. So how are you going to do it? How are you going to bring them up? They really belong in jail or a psychiatric hospital where you throw the key away, kind of thing.
And you think that trauma can make people lose empathy completely?
Trauma can make people feel numb, but it cannot make them turn into psychopaths per se. So trauma, multiple personality, for example, is associated to sexual trauma. And trauma can make people, at times, to turn callous. So it's a temporary regression, if you like, because of the trauma. It's like they have that pain. They have to seal over that pain. Something triggers the pain. They have to seal over it. And then you see somebody that is temporarily psychopathic. But it's not the same thing as a serial killer that goes out randomly and kills people it's like he kills people for the sport of it. In fact, he kills people because he wants to feel alive again.
What if evil is just a brain trap in pain?
It's usually not a brain disorder. It's not neurological. It could be a combination of neurological and psychopathy, but it's primarily a genetic and psychological problem. So if you have, for example, a damage in your frontal lobes, you might become very impulsive and do things impulsively that are criminal because of this lack of executive functions as a result of the trauma to the frontal lobes. But it's not the same thing. I mean, these people are just, how can I say? They're frivolous. They're kind of flaky. They just do things and then they go, well, they don't even know what they do, these things. But a serial killer is a different thing. They specifically hurt others to get away from feeling completely numb in a coffin and suffocating.
Can science explain why a serial killer can't stop?
Yes, we can. For all these reasons that I explained. They cannot stop because they feel dead inside, and their only way of feeling alive is to hurt another person or themselves. I mean, you have cases with borderline people. They're not really psychotic like the psychopaths, but they cut themselves. And they cut themselves, it's like to let out steam. In fact, they cut themselves because they feel nothing. They feel numb. They feel like they're dead, pretty much. And that's not a nice feeling to feel. So killing somebody else is the only way they can change that, I guess.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Your name is Dr.
I'm Professor Dr. Sania Sofra. I have 2 doctorates, one in neurophysiology and one in clinical psychology. The neurophysiology doctorate is from London, and the clinical psychology doctorate is from New York, from a new school from New York.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're
Bye.
welcome.
Okay, perfect.